All right, what's going on? What's going on, good people? What is going on? What's going on? This is your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor, and we are in the late night grind mode right now. I want to get my there we go, get my focus going. Right there we are. All right, cool. So I have been in the lab, man, just cooking up trainings. I just completed a nearly 2 hour training session that I recorded for the agents that I am partnered with here in the state of Georgia. So I am just coughing and everything. Excuse me. I've been talking for 2 hours straight. So my voice is nearly shot. But before my voice is completely gone, I want to run this quick video now to show you how to run a CMA. And what the CMA is going to do, me fix my Zoom here. All right, cool. All right, cool. So what this video is going to do is empower you with information that you can now be able to provide your clients with a comparative market analysis so that if you are representing a potential listing, you have some solid information to provide to them to show what they could potentially get for the sale of their home based on the market. Because I always tell agents that we need to be letting our clients know that putting gold toilets in your home does not necessarily correlate to an additional ROI on that home if the market, aka other homes that are identical to your client's own, do not necessarily care about that. So I'm going to share my screen right now. And if you enjoy content like this and you are not currently an agent here with Real Brokerage, I want you to strongly consider clicking the link in the first pinned comment to see what alignment is like, especially if you're here in the state of Georgia. But even if you're in any other state, this data in this video is going to be very helpful for you. And I will connect you to the Marvin of your respective state. I'm kind of like Dave Ramsey, where he has his endorsed local providers. I have my hand-picked agents in every single state this side of the Mason-Dixie that I will connect you with if you need someone on the ground level to support you as a new-ish agent, and you still want to be aligned with your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor. We do offer here at Real Brokerage what's called co-sponsorship, which essentially gives you the ability to use a Shark Tank analogy, two sharks working on your behalf for your success, two individuals that you can lean on, both from me via YouTube and helping you in those areas, and someone locally that's helping you with paperwork and things of that nature. But how to run a CMA for this video is going to be any state you can do something like this. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Let me share my screen right now. All right, so doing this particular CMA from my local FMLS website, which is First MLS here in Georgia. Your respective state, you may have if you're not in Georgia, you may have a different website that logs you into your MLS. But if you are able to log in like I'm doing right now, what you're going to want to look for is an option called Cloud CMA. Okay, that is primarily what I use to generate CMAs for my clients, and it is part of your FMLS membership. So let me share that screen now. So Cloud CMA, what this is going to do is it's going to give you the ability to generate a CMA. And so once you have logged into there, and you're going to see my page in a moment here, you're going to click the option that says create new report. So you should see that on my page right now. All right. So we're going to log into your Cloud CMA, and you're going to create new CMA report. And we're going to call this one Marvin test. And we're going to make some private notes to ourselves. This is a test CMA. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a subject property that is my current listing. So I have a current listing at the following address, but you will put whatever address is in your area. So let's pick, let's see, let's go with this one here. All right, now we're now rolling Forest Drive. Okay, we're going to say that this home has, if your property, that you're doing a subject subject property on, which is going to be your potential listing. If they want to know, what I always suggest is to walk the home first and see what they've done to the home. If the home has 4 true bedrooms, for example, then great. If they converted a room to another bedroom and now makes it 5, great. But let's just say for this particular listing that your subject property on Forest Lane Drive in Lilburn, Georgia, has 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms and is 2,050 square feet. Then the residential type or the property type is always going to be residential for this. The property type, I typically will put single family residence here. And then what I like to do is automatically find listings near the subject property. And I always ask that they pull at least 20 listings to give me a really good broad idea of what's going on in the market. Then it asks here, how far back do I want to go for off market listings? I'll usually leave it at 1 year, but you can go as far back as 9 months if you like. If there's any additional criteria that you would like to indicate in the comparative listings, let's say you want to only look at homes that are at least 4 bedrooms, let's say 3 bedrooms, okay, all the way up to 5 bedrooms, and then 2 baths, all the way up to 4 baths, because you want to get as accurate of a CMA as possible. So you'll want to stay within 1 or 2 bedrooms and bathrooms of your subject property, and you'll want to stay within a couple hundred feet of your subject property square footage. So if this subject property is 2,050 square feet, I'm going to say at minimum, I want it to compare to homes that are at least 1,800 square feet. And then we'll leave the maximum square foot section blank, but I don't want it to show me any homes that are not at least minimum 1,800 square feet. List price, I will leave that blank for now because I just want to see what's out there. So before I run the report, I'm going to make sure I have my subject address here, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, to the best of your knowledge. The residential type or the property type is residential. The property subtype is single family residence. And again, you can add in extra information here if you'd like to, but for all intents and purposes, just keep it very general. And then we'll click Fetch Listings. So we'll give it a second here while it is pulling down listings that are in the. All right, excellent. So it's found a few listings here that are all closed. So this home is fairly close to my property as far as the bedrooms and bathrooms. It's got a lot more square footage, but again, I just plugged in a random address here and then I just put a minimum of 2,000 square feet. So if I'm looking at a 4-bedroom, 3-bath that's similar to mine that recently closed for at 442,500, I like to click the notes here to get an idea of when it closed. So this home closed in July, so that's a good comp because that just closed this earlier this month. As a matter of fact, it just closed, which is great. It was listed on 5/12, so that's going to be a good comp. Then what I'll do is I'll go look at a few more that have closed. All right, this one here, excuse me, this one here sold in May. It is also a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. Again, ignore the square footage because I just made up the square footage, but this one is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. So assuming my subject property has around this square footage, I'll update that here accordingly. But I just plugged in a random square footage here. So this one, I would consider this a good comp because this is also a 4-bedroom, 3-bath built in 1978. This home as well was built in 1982, so that's within a couple years of each other. So those are some good comparables. And then that one recently sold as well. There's a lot that's sold here in this neighborhood. So another 4-bedroom, 3-bath that's 10,000 square feet. That one as well. This is a newer home, so this one was built in 2022. I wouldn't count this as a comparable because, again, this is a very new home. If my subject property was built in the 80s, then I would count these first 2 homes as good comps because they were also built around the same time. I would not count a home like this because this is a brand new home. Even though it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, it's almost brand new. So I'm not gonna count this as a good comp. I'm gonna look here at the another 4 bedroom, 3 bath here. This one sold in May. So that sold within the last 90 days of today's date, which is great. This home was built in 1971. So it's kind of an older home. So this may not be a good comp to my property. If my property, let's say, was built in 1980, for example. But what you'll do is you'll just keep going through these homes to see which one is closest to yours. So this one here is a 5 bedroom, 3 bath that was built in 1978. And what what this home here will be is also another possible good comp. So so looking at this home here, this is one that was built in 1982, and this one sold in May as well. So we won't really we can you can potentially count this. It was sold for 492 in May, so that's another good one. So maybe we pick one more comp that's similar to around the time of 1980. So this one was built in 1979 and is also a 4 bedroom, 3 bath. This one as well. This one sold back in March, so it's kind of far away from, as far as recently. It's a little bit past, it was March, April, May, June, July. It's about 4 months ago. So you could still technically use that. So let's just grab those 3 homes there, okay? So we'll go with those, and we'll uncheck these other ones. I just wanna use these ones that we really like. All these other ones here, I'll take this one out. For example, it's built in 1996. This one, it was built in 1975. I'll keep that one because it's around the time of mine. 1982, 1971, I'll take that one out. That's a little too old. And you'll just go through it. Like this one was darn near brand new. I'll take that one out. That's not going to be a good comp. This one was built in 1978. I'll keep that one. This one was built in 1982. I'll keep that one. Okay. So I've got some good ones that I'm keeping. Let me uncheck. These are ones that are pending or active under contract or pending. So I'll take those ones out. These 2 are active. So I'll leave those on because I'll leave this one that was built in 1983 on because, again, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, built around the time of mine. So that's 1983. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click customize report. All right. And something I wanted to show you guys too here, I forgot to show you, is based on the ones that we selected here. And let me uncheck this again. Hold on one second. We're only gonna include the ones that are close to my subject properties one. So this one, which one did I pick? 1978. This one here, this one is 5 beds. So I'm gonna throw this in here just because it's just slightly above my 4 bedroom, 3 baths. It's a 5 bedroom, 3 bath. And then where was the other one here? Here was a 4 bedroom, 3 bath built in 79. And then we were going to add these ones that were active around the same time frame. I don't like to put anything that's pending because it hasn't sold yet. I only want to look at what's active and what's closed. So what it's telling me here is the highest price of comps here in this neighborhood is 538,000. The lowest price is 425,000. The median price is 446, which is the middle price between all these, and the average price is 463. So more than likely, unless my client's home is pristine and I don't see a whole lot of deferred maintenance going on, then I will usually say starting a price somewhere around the average sales price, okay? Because what you want to do is you don't want to overshoot. with what you can deliver to the client, and that's ultimately that the home gets sold. You don't want to look at this highest part because there must have been some extenuating circumstances that this home sold for almost $100,000 over the median. And you don't want to look at a low home price because this one was probably maybe a fixer or must have been some other stuff going on with it. What you're going to want to look at as a target is the average sales price, okay? Because that's going to be, somewhere between the median and the average. Let me say that somewhere between the median and the average, but I would not aim for the highest mark because, again, that might have been an outlier, and you don't want this home sitting on the market for longer than it needs to. All right. So that's the suggested price that I would say somewhere in this range. And if you want to go slightly above the average, that's fine. But very rarely would I go with the highest comp in the neighborhood because again, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. And unless again the home's extremely updated and it's just pristine, all that jazz, it's better to kind of stay in that average listing price. All right, so to customize your report is very straightforward. You can add you're gonna the market analysis obviously is going to be in the title. You can change the theme here if you like. You just click these different buttons if you want to add a theme relative to your brokerage. You can pick any of the options here. The layout here, if you want it to have two photos with a map, photo with data, it gives you the ability to do all that. I always stick with the default template here. If you want to put a cover, you can put any of these pretty covers here in front of it. I believe you can go with the one that's free here if you'd like to put a cover sheet. And then font, I like to keep it at the default font here. And then if you want to edit any of this information like our company, you can write something about yourself. I would maybe have Chat GPT just come up with a nice description of you as a realtor and the work that you do. And all this other stuff is all what's included here. And what you'll do is you'll click publish report. And this is what you will take on your listing appointment. And it's generating the report right here. And then what I'm going to do is it gives you the ability to email the report, copy a PDF link that you can send directly to them, copy a live link, or create a home beat. I always do one of the two here. Either I'll email the report directly to the client or copy the PDF link and text it to them. But I like to do both of these, to be honest with you. So if you wanted to view this CMA here, all you do is view PDF. And I'm going to show y'all what that looks like now. And if you're getting value from this, we're on the late night jam session here. Please hit the thumbs up button. It's greatly appreciated. I'm going to get you here in under 20 minutes. This is just a quick 20-minute breakdown on how to create a CMA. All right, so it's published the report here. You can save this report by clicking here as a PDF. But what it does is it shows your subject property, your name. Of course, this is your client's name is what would go here. Your name, and here's a little bit about myself that I just created here in Chat GPT at some point. And this is all your professional experience, all that jazz, information about you. And then this is what your client is going to read, what you can go over with your client. You can print this out and put it in a nice folder packet or something on your listing appointment. But I always walk folks through, how that no two homes are identical. And you can kind of take some of these bullet points here as you're talking with your client. But this is what's going to be left with your client. These are going to be all of the properties that I selected as comps that we talked about on the previous screen. My subject property is going to be this one. Again, the square footage is off because I just plugged in a random square footage, but you would obviously look up according to tax records, and you can go to your county's tax website and type in the address for the county of that property, and it'll tell you exactly what they have on the tax records for the square footage. And then you'll plug that in, and then again, comparing to what has recently sold that's identical to your client's property, give or take a year or so. They can see that data here as far as what's sold and when it sold here on the second page. Same addresses, by the way, as far as when they've sold, and then what's currently active that's identical to your client. Okay. This is Valbrook Court. And then they can see more information on the listing here. You know, how many days this property was on the market. This one was on the market 17 days. This one was on the market 17 days. This is still St. Michael's. And then this one was on the market 4 days. This one sold fairly quickly. All right. This one is still Sequoia. All right. This one was on the market 5 days. So that one sold very quickly. And they may ask you, you know, what were some of the things for you as the agent that you believe it's why it sold so quickly. So looking at this home, for example, this is the one that sold at the top of the comps. Look at how nicely updated it is. That's why it's so sold so at such a high amount. There's a lot of updates to this home that are this one isn't as updated as the one that we just looked at here on Cedar Creek, but this is why it commanded 538,000 because the sellers put a lot of updates and nice modern things into the home. This other home here, this was on the market 3 days, and then this one here was on the market 14 days. So this is just kind of giving your seller an idea of why these homes sold for what they sold. And so what you're going to suggest to them is, again, somewhere, if the home is nicely updated, somewhere in the middle right here as far as a starting list price, because this current home that's on the market is being listed for, what did I say it was listed for? Let me go back to it here. I think I saw 450, but I just want to make sure. It's currently listed for, yeah, $450,000. So if that home is identical to your client home in every way, then maybe you start yours at 400 and 49,500. Give it a slight discount, slightly under the current active price, just to make yours, again, you want your home, your client's home, to sell for as much as it can, as quickly as it can. That's kind of how I approach when I do my CMA meetings, is I want it to sell for as much as possible, but as quickly as possible. Okay. So again, stay in the pocket with it. Again, if the average price is 466, but what's currently active is 450, there must be some extenuating circumstance with this active listing compared to these other comparable homes. So again, if your home is better than what's currently active, then you can go slightly over 450. But if it's identical to what's currently active in your area, then maybe stay slightly under, just for the perception of a potential buyer to get a deal by purchasing the home with you. But it's in line with the neighborhood, and more than likely the comps will comp out. Average days on market. This is just kind of real estate nerd stuff that you can let your client know the average amount of time that a home stays on the market, average price per square foot, all that jazz here. And then here's kind of a breakdown of what you will do as the agent that you can go over with the client. You have them sign the listing agreement. Then you will enter the home into the MLS system, put up for sale signs. Again, this is kind of the basic things that we do, but this is letting the potential seller know what you do. But you definitely, if I can be honest with you, you should be doing a home tour video. You should be creating social media content. If the home is not in the best condition, see if your seller is agreeable, especially if they're not going to be in the property, if they're agreeable with staging. That is a service that the seller would make that investment on. I would never pay for staging for a property. I would have the seller pay for that staging. Now, as far as pictures, you as the agent, of course, would pay for that. But staging services, especially if the home is not in the best, condition, as far as it's got really outdated furniture, if at all possible to get that furniture out of there, get the home deep cleaned and then staged, that's going to really put you in the best position possible and your seller in the best position possible. And it talks about that here as far as open house checklist. I mean, this report is very robust. That's why I love using Cloud CMA, because it really educates your seller on how to prepare their home as best as possible and some of the follow-up things that you can do for them afterwards. Okay. So that's it. I'm gonna get you guys out of here. I tried to stay under 20 minutes, but I wanted to make sure that you got value on as far as how to prepare a CMA. So now you know how to do it. You go to your respective MLS website, and hopefully as part of your membership with your respective MLS, you have access to Cloud CMA. That is the primary website that I use to run CMAs for my potential listings. It's absolutely free or included in your MLS membership. Of course, clients might go places like Zillow and they might say, well, what you're showing me is not what I see on Zillow. I see this price for my home on Zillow. Ultimately, they are in control of how much they list their house for because it is their home. But what you can do as the knowledge broker is making sure that you educate your client on the fact that Zillow's estimates are very rarely accurate, but a comparative market analysis, which only can be gotten from you as a real estate professional, is going to empower your client with the most accurate information possible based on the comp. So if they make comparisons to Zillow's estimates, just go back to the CMA, show them the subject properties that are nearly identical to their own and what they sold for and when they sold and how long they were on the market, and let them know that's why you came up with the estimate that you came up with based on the report, is because you want to get your client the most money possible by selling the home for as quickly as possible. So those are the two variables that if you want more, then your home's not going to sell very quickly. If you stay in the pocket, then it's going to sell in the average time. If you are super desperate, which hopefully that's not the situation for your seller, well then it'll move a lot quicker, but they're not going to walk away with a whole bunch of money. So those are kind of some of the nuances that I want you to make sure that you're covering. And before I let you go, YouTube believes that this video or this video are going to be two videos that you're going to enjoy from the channel. So if you got value from this video, do your boy a solid, hit the thumbs up button, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.